There we are. We are live. Today is July 12th, 2025. Today's topic might be about saying goodbyes, which is not so much fun. I'm Rabbi Brian. I welcome you to the Saturday service, which is what this is. This is. I dropped out of organized religion. It was somewhat disorganized when I got there, anyhow. I dropped out of organized religion looking to see, could I figure out how to prioritize love and kindness over dogma and creed. And I didn't know how to do that, but I knew I wanted to. And I set out to do something like that. And then these people showed up. There are those people. Hello, those people. There are more people who are still joining in. And let me go back to screen one. If nothing else you get out of today, there's this beautiful quote from John Wesley, which says, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can." That's what we are here to do. We are here today and all these days to do all the good that we can. And a moment ago, we looked at this quote. We started, okay, if you're just watching on the recording or you're just tuning in on Facebook, welcome, glad you're here. But you missed it. We started a little before you just to make sure all the technology is working. And we had this beautiful quote from Marcus Aurelius that says, "To offend a strong man, tell him a lie. To offend a weak man, tell him the truth." That's just a beautiful quote. Before we do anything else, Ann Mayer, would you say hello?
Hello.
There's Ann Mayer, of no direct relation to me, but a love in my life. And today is a very special day. Ann, would you tell us why?
It is my 65th birthday.
Oh,
And
Happy
as is
birthday.
traditional in religion outside the box land, we ask the birthday celebration if they would like to do their birthday with or without singing. And Ann has chosen
Singing.
with singing. So that being said, cover your ears and let's start the singing now. It goes like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ann. Happy birthday to you.
And many
that is
more.
awful.
you can take the Kleenex out of your ears now, Ann.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
It's just wonderful. I think it proves, our singing proves that it's about the intent. And really, if you can see the intent in it, even when it looks or sounds horrible, there's still love to be found. So thank you for choosing with, and thank you all for singing. And I'll notice that we used to do the singing on when people did with, and some of us intentionally sang poorly. And I love, and this time I don't think anyone did. I think everyone was singing as cleanly as they can. And it came out really beautifully. So thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to those who haven't joined. I want to start with something that we do, which is something new about last week. Is there something that we talked about last week that you had some, oh, wow, yeah, moments about? Is there something last week we talked mainly about hope? But we talked about other things as well. Or is there some other tool or thought that we had from the last week or so that you want to share to help reinforce the learning and thinking? I'll give you a second to do that before. So that's the prompt. And I'm going to give a pause and go on a little bit of a side quest. As we go on the side quest, then we'll come back to any comments you might have about last week. And I want to talk about something because it was new to me, and it was something new about something that we've already done, and it is called Rule 4.3. I named it Rule 4.3, and here's how Rule 4.3 goes. Most of you remember this. Rule 4.3 goes right in there. And let me explain to you how Rule 4.3 goes. I was doing, and I also have to tell you all, last week, so this terrible thing happened, and some of you caught it on the video after the fact. Some of you saw it happen live. But last week, I had people take out their phones to send a text message of gratitude. We were doing a little experiment last week of could gratitude help us find hope? And we came up with yes as the answer to that. So if anyone's looking for how do you have more hope, having gratitude, we decided to take the bitterness out of the world. We had gratitude, kindness, and community. Those were our three. And to get to gratitude, I had everyone take out their phones and send a text message to someone, I'm glad that you're in my life. And just to see if that helped to buoy us a little bit. Was there something we could do? And the answer was yes. When I opened up my phone, I had gotten a message from a woman named Susan. And some of you saw my face fall as I looked at my phone, because Susan had sent me a text message, and it was at the top of my phone, that a woman named Anne, who I had known, I was unable to get in touch with for the past week, and I texted Susan, the person who I know knew Anne as well, and I got a message from Susan, says, Anne died last week. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. And so my face fell, and we only had about 10 minutes left in the service or so. So I didn't want to change horses. And to be honest, I was in a bit of shock. But this is where Rule 4.3 comes from. Rule 4.3 is something that I was talking with this woman named Anne about. And we talked about when she was with her family and her mother said something that was kind of snarky and mean every time that they were in the kitchen. Her mother micromanaged and controlled what Anne was eating and said, oh, you don't need that, or whatever obnoxious thing mom said. And I said to Anne, are you able to say, do you think you could be able to say to your mother, what I heard you say was this, and it sounded like an insult. Did you intend to insult me? And Anne and I practiced that for a little while, and Anne said to me, Brian, I think you might be able to do that. I don't think I could do that. I said, well, let's see what happens. And so Anne was back home, and her mom said something obnoxious. And Anne said, at the time it happened, I wasn't able to say, Mom, that was kind of obnoxious. Did you mean to insult me? But when I left the room, it dawned on me that I could have said it. And so I'm thinking of this as 4.3. 4.3 being that point where you can give yourselves hints, but you don't do it in real time. That you're not quite up to giving yourself the hint as the thing's happening, that you can give yourself hints, but they're not exactly when you wanted the hint to be. So that's Rule 4.3. If you're new here and you don't know what this whole thing is about, don't sweat it. We have a group for you. Boy, do we have a group for you. Maria, wave Maria. Hi, Maria.
I'm here.
In the second hour, Maria is going to be running a group, and it's just, you can check in, and if you say, hey, it's called Maria's Tool Shop, and Maria is willing to help explain any of the tools. If you weren't here, if you want to refresh, if you want, and then you can go to one of the other breakout groups. But if you want to just talk a little bit more and refresh yourself about what these different stages are, that will be in Maria's Tool Shop. So we added in a thing called 4.3. Good for us. got a little extra noise happening. Thank you to all of my co-hosts who play the whack-a-mole game of muting people as their microphones are all on. Okay, so that all being said, what do you have from last week? What do you have from the week before? What is it that we talked about that you're taking with you? Or that you have a little extended learning about? This is when it gets very quiet. That's all right. So I'll ask you again this week, take some notes of whatever we talk about. And if during the week something comes up that reinforces any of the learning that we've done together as a group, I got you, Ruth, to please bring that in next week. Ruth, go ahead.
The saying the whole world is a narrow bridge, not to add to the fear.
Right. Thank you so much, Ruth. Last week I shared the quote from Rabbi Nachman of Bretzloff. The whole world is a narrow bridge, is a very narrow bridge. The key is not to add to the fear. And you will see this quote often, and most of the time you see it, the quote says, the key is not to have fear. But if you look actually in the rabbi's writings and you look at it, he used a hitpalal form of the verb, and it means not to add to the fear, not to have fear, but not to add to the fear. Thank you for reminding us of that beautiful, beautiful quote. Thank you. And anyone else before I move us on? Hi, Diana. Hi, Aviva. And hi, Rob. And hi, Amy. And hi, Emily. And Holly. And anyone I didn't already say hello to by name. I did learn a lot from watching Mr. Rogers. And Mr. Rogers taught me that everyone wants to be seen. Everyone, and it might take a little extra moment for me to say hello to every person. But what better thing could I do with our time? Talking about being seen, I have this graphic to show you. What do you see in this picture?
Pac-Man.
What do you see? Pac-Man. You see
I was gonna
three
say triangle.
Pac-Man go. There's a white triangle and there are 3 black circles. And the thing is, there's neither a triangle nor a circle in this picture. But we see it. And the reason we see it is because our brains are amazingly adapted at closure. We want to figure something out. We want to close the loop. We want to say, that's what this is. Even we can even see something that's not even there. And today, our topic, or what we're going to start, what we will speak of right now, is closure. And the closure that we need today is about our fabulous intern, Lori. Hello, fabulous intern, Lori.
Hi.
Hi, Lori. And this is Lori's last week with us. Can you believe it's been a year?
Mm.
I'm looking for any kind. Remember, guys, I can see your faces, and I can hear you. So any kind of reaction is appreciated. It makes me feel a little less alone. So let me ask again. Hey, can you believe it's been a year since Lori had joined us? And you guys, thank you so much for shaking your head. And oh no, we don't. We thank you. It's been a year plus ago. I got a phone call from Lori, and she said, "Rabbi, can I ask you a favor?" Lori, do you want to tell the people what you said?
I think I said I need an internship, and would you be willing to take me on for a year?
And I said,
Absolutely.
and then I said, what does that mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And you asked a lot of questions.
But the answer was, could if I can be of help to you, I'm glad to be of help. And I had no idea what we were going to do together, but for the background story of it, Lori is getting ordained in the Unitarian tradition, and in order to do so, she needs to have an internship in a religious body. But as Lori runs services on Sundays, she can't be an intern to any Unitarian fellowship that has meetings on Sundays. So she asked her friend, the rabbi, can I be a part of your group? Can I do an internship with you? And I said, sure, let's do that. And then today's the last day, and according to official Unitarian rules, we're not supposed to have anything to do with Lori after today. But as I said last week, I don't really care that the Unitarians have rules. So Lori, you are always invited to be here. But as it is your last day of your internship, we thought we would take today to talk about you, and to talk about things that we've learned from you, Lori, over the past year. And I have a list of things that I've learned, but I have one that got emailed to me from Ruth. Ruth Bernstein sent this one. She said, I admire Lori for her willingness to look for positive solutions to personal problems she has.
Aw.
I admire her willingness to look for positive solutions to personal problems. And I think I see a whole bunch of people nodding their heads. Yeah, that's very true. Someone else, what did you learn from Lori? What did you learn from our time having our intern Lori?
She's Canadian.
We did learn that she's Canadian. It's so there's a taxonomy of learnings, and the basic one is just the facts, ma'am. And just the facts, we've learned that Lori is Canadian. We also learned that she is not a truck. She's a different kind of Lori than that. I thought that was at least worth a chuckle. Holly, what do you have to tell us about our friend Lori? And Lori, take this all in. I'm no longer in charge of you, but I would advise you take some notes so that you can keep this stuff with you.
Okay.
Go ahead. We're going to start with Holly. Holly, go for it.
I learned that it's okay to say, I don't got anything today.
Yeah.
When you did that, I was like, good for you.
Yeah. Can you give a little bit of context to that, Holly?
She was supposed to bring 3 things she had learned, and she was like,
I got nothing.
I got nothing this week.
Yeah.
And I was
beautiful.
like, well, that's great. Like just having the courage to say, I'm good. And being okay with it, it's just like,
As long as you're
okay.
77%, you're good.
Yeah.
There you go.
How many of you admire Lori's ability to just have done that? To have just said, I don't have anything and I'm fine with it. That's an amazing thing, Lori. Good on you. Thank you for teaching us that.
Well, your response was very helpful because you weren't upset with me at all.
I was fuming on the inside. I just
Oh, were
tamped it
you?
all down. No, I like Holly was just so impressed that you could so freely there's this great quote that I learned when I was teaching high school, which was there's no lesson in algebra that should not be interrupted for a lesson in humanity. And the lesson in humanity that you gave us was greater than anything else that day. So thank you. Diana?
Lori was intrepid enough to herd the cats as we tried to have a book discussion group. And week after week, prepared questions that were insightful and led us in that. So I really appreciated that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Yeah.
It was a great experience.
I gotta give Lori. I'm gonna try not to piggyback on everything everyone says, but God bless you, Lori. Lori ran a book club on my book, and then invited me to show up to it, and it was really hard to have the author of the book in a book club when other people had other opinions than what the author's opinion was. and Lori did a fantastic job of navigating. And we came up with the solution of putting my microphone on mute so that it was a little bit harder for me to talk. So thank you, Lori, for that. I saw a hand. I got Ann Mayer. Go ahead. What did you learn from Lori?
One thing I learned from Lori was that to make yourself, and this might be her direct quote, I'm not sure, to make yourself vulnerable is to show your strength. And I actually have seen that with Lori herself over the last year. If we compare how she is presenting herself now with confidence and strength compared to when she first started, it's been a beautiful thing to watch.
Oh,
And
thank
it
you.
was say a little bit more about the vulnerability part of it, Anne. How is a vulnerability strength? Because that's a deep idea.
Yeah, it is hard to show vulnerability. And then but once you do, you can keep, I don't know, you'll find that the response that you get is not what you anticipated most of the time. And even if it is, you know that you can keep going. And it feeds back and gives you strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you for adding in a little more. Lori, do you care to respond to any of the things that you've heard so far? And then we'll move to Alex.
Well, I was gonna say, with vulnerability, it's kind of a two-way street because it cultivates a closeness with people that you can't get if you aren't vulnerable. And so by sharing some of my personal issues, I got a lot back from people, which was really helpful, and it helped to give me that strength, to move forward.
Thank you. Alex, what do you have to add? What did you learn from our experience having Lori
What
here?
what I learned from this experience with Lori being here was that change is not always a bad thing, right? Like when you announced that you were bringing on an intern, I kept my mouth shut, but I was kind of mad about it. I'm like, oh my God, here's this interloper. She's gonna mess things up, and I don't like it at all. But I didn't say anything. And to be honest, okay, and Lori, I think so highly of you, but at first I really, really wanted to dislike you. I was like, oh, this intern. I don't want an intern here. This is Rabbi's show. And what you're one, I think you are a lovely person. I think that the sessions that you have done when you've led have been really great. And as a friend and a person, I just really like you a lot. And this whole thing with you is a really big reminder that for me, that change is not always a bad thing. That moving things around is not always bad. And so it has been a really good reminder for that, and I'm very glad that you've been here, Lori. So thank you.
I'm very thankful for your friendship too, Alex. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's interesting. It never occurred to me that anyone would be upset by my coming. That's really interesting.
Thank you for admitting that, Alex. Dan,
Yeah.
what do you have to add?
First, comment on what you said about it being difficult to have the book club with you there. If it was difficult for either of you, the times I was there, I did not see that. So I think that's a kudos to both of you for if there was a difficulty for not letting us see that, and it seemed like it went really well. And just in terms of Lori specifically, I really appreciated hearing you talk about setting boundaries with your son in particular, which you talked about on more than one occasion. And that's and you know how obviously difficult that was. And I think many of us have been in those situations of having a relative or whatever that we've had to set boundaries with at different levels. And so, yeah, I appreciated that.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Dan. There was no backstage fighting, so you know it was any difficulty that Lori and I had. We shared out loud in the group with the group, and it's lovely to know that we could do such a thing without it throwing the group off. Maria.
Well, I'm going to pick up on what some other people said in that Lori shared.
Oh, let me time out for 1 second, folks. A lot of the good words have already been said, but that doesn't mean we can't say them again. If there's something somebody has already said, please don't feel like you have to come up with a unique thing that hasn't already been said. That would be too difficult. You can say something that's already been said and underline it, put it in bold, make it so that we all know that that was an important thing for you as well. Thank you, Maria. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's good. I was going to pick up on what other people had said about setting boundaries, especially with family and the difficulty and the struggle, and how, you know, she shared at times that she felt like a failure sort of thing. And then to keep resetting those boundaries, because sometimes we can't always completely cut family off. And this is something that is very fresh to me because I did this just earlier this week, and it didn't go well. And I will be having contact again with this person tomorrow. And so I'm a little trepidatious in terms of how it's going to go. But Lori, you just shared so beautifully about that, and you know, and openly about your struggles and sort of your path. Right, at how it changed at different times, sort of thing. So that's been a fabulous model for me. And I thank you for that a lot.
Thanks. It's having people share back with me that they had gone through similar things was really, really helpful, because you feel like you're the only person, and that's what a group of this in a community like this means, right? Is that you're not alone.
Yeah. And Lori, also, there's something to be said for being on the leadership of a religious organization and being so vulnerable. That's not normal.
No, it's not. It's not. I think I mentioned that I read a book about a pastor whose son died suddenly, and he kept for years. He didn't share anything about it. He didn't talk to his congregation. He just went to work every day, but he didn't feel like his heart wasn't in it anymore. And then he stood up one Sunday and ended up sharing. It just all came out. It wasn't scripted, and it just all came out. And after that, things with his congregants were so much better. And so I really believe that. I mean, there has to be some boundaries in being a leader, but I really believe that it's better if people know if you're having a rough time, you know?
Thank you for modeling that, Lori. It's one thing to read it in a book. It's another thing to see it being done.
It's on
you
Sesame
guys
Street.
taught me that too.
Thank you. John, thank you. And extra credit, that sounds so stupid. Extra points, whatever, to John and to Meg, who's driving today. Because John and Meg were on the official Religion Outside the Box. We needed a committee in order to fulfill the requirements of having an intern. And we had a committee of John and Meg who stalwartly agreed to have extra meetings and extra time and extra coaching of both me and Lori. So thank you. John, you have some thoughts.
I'll start with number one. She loves chocolate chip cookies.
Homemade chocolate chip cookies.
Homemade chocolate chip cookies. My recipe.
Yep,
Anyways,
they're delicious.
that was an interesting the way that whole thing came together, because Lori is about 2 hours away from me. So shortly after she became an intern, I was able to go and visit her on a Sunday morning in her own church. And that was a good experience that set up the rest of things. I really liked watching the growth that Lori exhibited through the year in terms of leadership and presenting herself and her ideas. That was admirable.
Yeah.
What was I had another one, and now that I'm talking, it's kind of
all right,
escaped
John.
outside.
It's one of those things that has fell on the floor, and it's hard to know if you still need it.
Yeah, first I have to see it and determine if it's worth picking up.
Right. Thank you, John. When it comes back to you, please tell. Please tell.
Okay.
Anyone else who else has got a thing you learned from either directly from Lori or from our experience of having an intern?
I remember.
I have.
Oh,
well, go ahead, John.
Hold on 1 second, Emily. John remembers, and we don't want to trust that he'll have to forget it again. So we'll come to you in a second. Go ahead, John.
I thought Lori was so gracious when it came to the book study, very diligently working on questions to guide us, and was completely okay when we ignored them all and just went off. We took maybe one part of one of the questions, and that took most of the time. All the other 20 questions that she had, we basically ignored them, and it went on from there. And she was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
That's
Emily?
one of the biggest things.
I've noticed that Lori had courage to take the reins from Brian with this unruly group. And it's just, that takes a lot of courage to step in and be a substitute teacher. Anyway, that's the part that really amazed me.
Thank you, Emily.
It was an easy group to be a substitute teacher too.
Well, it still takes guts. I have a few things. Does anyone else have a burning thing on their head? Let me. Here's some things that I have, Lori. One, I just loved your honesty. There was a quote you said once. You said, "Well, I had a breakdown yesterday," and you said it the same way that you might say, "Oh, we're out of milk." You just have such a ability to be unpretentiously honest. Just it was lovely. I love your vulnerability. I love that you showed us that we can laugh while we're experiencing problems. You have a delightful way of being overwhelmed and humorous about it at the same time. I learned from you that one can be terrible at technology and scheduling and still be lovely and loving and lovable. You really showed me that reading is so. There's a reason that actors get paid to do acting, is that they read what's in the script and they figure out a way of presenting it as though it's live. And that the rest of us, not that actors aren't human, but the rest of us humans, when we read, it doesn't come out with the same realness that our just speaking does. And I was so delighted, Lori, when I gave you the note after one of the first Lori's learnings. And I said, Lori, I heard every word you said, but I have no idea what you said. And you just then said, oh, well, what I was trying to say was, boo. And I said, well, just do that next time. Write up Lori's learnings, but then just express them in your own words, not what's written down. And you did that, and it was so beautiful to see your willingness to jump in and to try something that's not what you were trained to do. That's not what you knew to do, but it was lovely, just wonderful to see. You taught me about trust. I didn't know how I was going to use an intern. I never had an intern before, but I had some sense that it was going to work out. And I thank you for reaffirming in me to have trust and faith. And the last one that I have was there was a parallel process, and it has two parts. One, I knew I understood this a second ago. I was able to see how people reacted to you, and it helped me to see how people react to me. It was wonderful to have somebody parallel to me to help me to see what was going on. And then I thought that the parallel goes to all the group as well, that everyone could see your growth. And it's so hard to see our own growth because we're with us, but being able to see you grow and grow beautifully as you're here, I think could help everybody and helps everyone to see our own growth and to see, well, if Lori could grow like that, I must be growing too. So I thank you for all the wonderful things that you've taught us. And then we decided that we were going to have a chance for Lori to tell us what she learned from us. Lori?
Oh, so much. There's things that I learned about from you specifically, Brian, like it's okay not to be okay. I use that all the time with people. I had someone who called me yesterday and was really upset because their grandmother died, but they have mental health issues, and they were trying to make it about these other things, and I kept saying it's okay not to be okay, and that really, really helped them. And the other one is the only way out is through is very important reminder to me, that because I tend to feel things down the road, like a couple years later, because I'm so worried about making sure that things go well. If there's funerals or whatever, I do the eulogy and I get everything settled. And I realize now that in leaving my own grieving or my own upset, it doesn't get me through. So that's been very important. And the vulnerability we've all talked about, but being vulnerable in this supportive group meant a lot to me, and I saw I wasn't alone, and it facilitated the closeness and the good relationships that I feel I've cultivated with people. And I think that was a breaking point where people, when I shared some of my issues with my son, I think that was a breaking point. Like there was a change that happened at that point, which was beautiful. And another thing I learned from you, Rabbi, is if there's disagreements in a group, to sort of stand back and let the group work on it themselves, and not like my initial response is to fix and be part of the solution. And you're very relaxed and you just say they'll work it out, and you have faith in them. And that was a big learning for me. I've written all these down, sorry. And in being less of a sermon and more of a facilitation of the talk, and I took the vein that I wanted to learn from you guys about the subjects that I brought. And so you provided me with a lot of great ideas and information, and that was really a good way, a good learning. Um, and as John said, with the book club, I had all these questions and we didn't hit them. But as long as the conversation is going the way it should and going is about the thing that we're there for, then it's okay. And I learned that from you, you guys. It's okay to just go with the crowd, and that's part of being a facilitator. Did someone want
That
to
was a
say
kitty
something?
cat. That was a cat.
Oh, it was
You're
a kitty
good.
cat. Okay. Um, and I put down that not being chastised for not having my 3 things that day, as Holly said, was it taught me the importance of being self-motivated and understanding where our boundaries are, and the fact that it was okay really was a confidence builder. So in the whole, we are enough just as we are. That's something I'm really, really working on and struggling with. And it's been really great reminders. The idea that all the things that you teach, Rabbi, about kindness and love are no good without action. They're all action. And it's about us working in the world to make things better, and how we do that to the best of our abilities. So that was a big learn. Just a sec. Oh, the 1 to 5 learning scale taught me to be a lot more patient with myself about not being perfect at things, and not always worrying about the outcome. So, in the idea that we go from a 5 to a 4 when we're triggered was also really important, because it again it gets rid of some of the guilt about reacting like a human being, and it was really important. Oh, and the last thing, the thing I'll end with is doing the book club was really interesting, and I feel like I got to know you better as a person. But the idea that the idea of sending an email to God, and you have that exercise in there. I haven't totally done the exercise yet, but in that email you say, think of a name that God would call you. And I immediately thought Lor, Lor, which is what the people I love in my family calls me. And I've always struggled with the concept of a personal God, but that really helped me to the idea that in my mind, God would call me Lor, like he or she has known me forever, which he or she has. Um, was really really was instrumental in inviting me to make a better to improve my relationship with the divine and not be so hands off. There's more, but I think we've covered most of them.
Lori, take a look at all the people here, would you?
Aw. Don't make me cry.
And why not?
Because the support that I've gotten from all you people it's just amazing. It's been such a great learning experience and so amazing, and I cannot thank all of you enough for helping me through this.
Wonderful, Lori. So glad we have had you. So glad to have seen you grow. We're going to do a thing, and we're going to go into small groups. And your prompt for the small group is, here's something I would like people to say about me. If we were doing the same thing that we just did with Lori, what's something you wish people, that you hope people would say about you? If we were doing a similar kind of exercise and you were the person in the focus, what would you want to be said about you? And Alex, are you ready with us to go into small groups? We haven't done small groups for a while. They are optional. You can also stay back here with me, but know that if you stay back here with me, you are still being broadcast to Facebook, and we do interact with our Facebook friends at this time. So if you want to stay back, but otherwise, if you want to join one of the small group rooms, we're going to do 7 minutes there. And there goes the people to the small rooms. Amy, you want to stay back here with us? You want to be moved to a room?
I'll stay back.
Okay, fantastic. And we got a few people who are just on audio only. And Alex, we're doing a 7 minutes?
Yes. I haven't been here for so long.
Recording in progress.
I don't remember how to get the timer going on. So
I set an auto timer on the room.
No. So I used to be able to pull a timer up on my screen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there.
Anyway, the breakout rooms are automatically set to close at the appropriate time.
Thank you. This was more for me than for them.
Okay.
Hey, Alex, I have a question.
Yes.
What would you wish people said about you?
Now or after I'm dead?
I don't know. Would they be different answers?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would want people to say about me that I'm honest and that I keep my word. And that if I say I'm going to do something, if I really promise that I'm going to do something that I'm good for it. I think honesty and integrity. I think that's what I would want people to say. And then maybe to a lesser extent that I make a difference.
Yeah.
But that one's more after I've died, like I made a difference. Yeah.
You did most of your difference making while you're alive, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, after I'm dead, yeah, Alex made a difference, but that's not something that I want acknowledgement for now.
Okay.
Right?
I would. Can I add in one for you? I would say that you're stalwart. You're dependable.
Okay, yeah, that kind of goes on with if I give you my word that I will do something, then it means I will do it.
I know you would. Cousin Amy?
I don't.
What do you want people to say about you?
I don't know. I've been gone for so long, so
not just this group, but in anywhere where you interact with people. What would you want them to say about you?
I guess I'm a team player. I'm willing to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Sometimes at my own detriment, but
that you go above and
to
beyond.
Be there for people.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
So I guess we should turn the question on you, Rabbi. What would you like people to say about you?
Thank you, Alex.
In a second. Let me just see if do we have any on the Facebook comments coming in?
Oh, now stop stalling.
Oh, Amy, I ain't afraid. What I
No,
hope
you're a
people
mayor.
say
I know you're
about
not afraid.
what I hope people say about me, I would start with that, is that he didn't seem to have a lot of fear. That I would hope people say that he had a very sharp mind, but only used it for the good. I would hope that people said he taught people how to love. I hope people say that. I hope people say that he teaches about kindness and it's about all he cares about. I hope people see that I am a family man, that I love my family, and I hope people say that I taught, and and that I teach. I teach about loving kindness, and that's all I've ever figured out that's important. Oh, and I hope people say that it's ties into what Lori was saying when she said I don't have anything today, is I hope people say that Brian keeps people from feeling shame. I really am I hope people say all those things. And if they miss any one of them, I'll be mad. Let me see if any of our phone players, Meg or Jean or Tanisa or Candace or Patricia, if you guys want to unmute and tell us something about yourselves, what you hope people say about you. And it looks like our phone players are staying on phone. Anybody on Facebook? Oh my goodness, hold on a second. John Paul, hi buddy. Glad you're here. If you want to type something in the chat that we hope we say about you, please do. Go ahead, Patricia.
Mason and I are driving, so that's the reason why, Mason's driving.
Good.
We kind of had a long pause and we said, okay, what do we both think? And we both said, we're good listeners. Which is the reason why what we're doing. But I would add to it that there's some people that need to lead the parade. I'm the kind of person that either organizes the parade or cleans up afterwards. You're not going to see me in the spotlight, but I'm behind the curtains. It's that type of thing. So. Mason is a real good drum major, or what do we call the leader of the parade?
The one in the front.
Yeah, and he deserves to be.
Aw, that's very sweet, mate. Patricia?
I get this all the time.
Oh, good. Hopefully, it's nice that Patricia knows who you are.
It is.
And Meg's driving too, which is probably the reason why she's not speaking. So
Well, think we will put her on the spot later. No, we won't do that. I'm glad Meg's listening in. Well, welcome back to people who are the small groups are. What do we have on the small group time, Alex?
12 seconds.
Well, if anybody who came back a moment early has something they want to share with the group as a whole, or with me, glad to listen. Here come the people. Come.
We're back.
Sorry for leaving early, John.
Okay.
All right. Well, here are the people who came back. Thank you for sharing. I do want to make a quick announcement and then take a moment for prayer time. As always, very important. It's okay not to be okay, and I have a different way of saying it today. I'm okay, and that's enough. It's all right to just be okay. We don't have to be splendid all the time. I do want us to take a Maria, you have a list of people for whom we want to say some prayers today.
I do. These are the people to whom we are sending light and love. Dennis and Carol, Alex, people who are without a place to live, Bill and Karen, Maria, Sheridan H., Arlene Hill, Ebony, Beth Carney, Horatio Meyer and Dee Dee Ford, Raphael family and Portia, Alex C., Emily, Robert B., Myron McClure, Evan Safra Shapiro, Rita S., Bernadette Applebaum, John S. of blessed memory, Bonnie, Hope, and Jim Marsh and Jacqueline Bisbee. If there is another person in our community to whom we can offer light and love, put their name in the chat and I will add them to the list on Facebook. And for the people who aren't named but who are in our thoughts, we send them light and love as well.
Well, let's take a minute right now for all our good thoughts. Well, I thank you all for joining. Lori, we're coming to our final moments of your internship here. Thank you for having been a part of this group. You are always welcome back. Would love to have you always join us.
I'll be in the
Folks?
background.
Okay. And
Well-
could we possibly get Lori's contact information? I'm thinking it would be wonderful if Lori is ever in the Portland area. I would love to champion her for being a guest speaker sometime at my Unitarian Fellowship or
So, Lori, if you would
Yep.
enter your information into Alex or Maria, if you could put up into our chat window the contact list, Lori will make sure to have any information Lori wants to share on the contact list. We'll make sure that that's on the contact list. If you would like that information, please follow the link that's in the chat. Maria, is that link, Alex, that link make it?
I'm
to
working on
the
it right
chat?
now.
Thank you, Alex.
And I put my email in.
There it is. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, folks, thank you, Lori, and thank all of you for helping to teach Lori. I did my part, but really, guys, you helped. You heard how much Lori learned from all of you. So thank you all. Thank you all. We'll go to breakout groups. Let's do that thing where we wave to all the people who are on Facebook and watching on YouTube and say, we'll see you next week. Oh, can we all say that? We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week.
We'll see you